My name is Laville, and I'm a singer from London, North London to be exact. I make like everything. Anything I want to make, I make it. So that's from soul to jazz to house to everything, Afro, whatever it is, just music.
How long you been doing this for?
Really, I started when I was like 28. So that's like
Wow, man.
10 years ago, really.
Beautiful.
At a house party. Because I wasn't really singing before then. I wasn't singing at all. Before then, I was just like running restaurants, running bars, doing stuff like that, just normal stuff. And I'm still doing that. But there was just, didn't have that element. And then went to a house party, someone heard me humming, good friend of mine now, and just kept saying, come to my studio. And I just kept saying, no, it's all right, man. I just didn't want it. I was like, I can't be arsed with this. It's going to be a hassle.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to be a lot of hassle.
What was it? Was it like fear of the imposter syndrome or some type of shit where you're just like not confident in your
Yeah, of course. Skin? I wasn't confident in the idea of it. I think even the idea of it wasn't like something that I was really subscribing to quite easily.
I get it.
So then, so then we went to the house party, and then he had another one at his new house, which is in Ladbroke Grove, right on top of the chicken shop. It's like a legendary one. Everyone knows chicken shop. And Chicken Cottage, right? Everyone knows that place. It's banging. It's like some of the best fried chicken.
Check it out.
You got to check it out, Boddhi, man. It's delicious. So yeah, it was literally the top flat on there, and then it was all vibing. Like it was an after party, and it was Charlie Perry, and one of my good friends, amazing producer. And at this point, he was just putting his music up, and everyone was just, the mic was there, and people were just going up and doing their thing.
Yeah, do the thing, yeah.
But there was maybe 20, 30 of us. Like all of our friends were in the room, basically.
Damn.
And I just picked it up and started singing. Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? This is not okay. You didn't tell us you could do this. And I've got I've got the recording, I've got the song of that moment, like literally the moment. I wait for I want to release it, but obviously all in good time.
That's the question, right? So since the moment you started until now, how consistent have you been with the music, and how easy has it been for you to pursue that, newly acquired sort of like gift and skill that you actually, got busy with, and at the same time maintaining, your income by staying busy and, making that moolah. How easy has it been for you? Or uneasy, for that matter?
I think the main thing that happened, I think, was so I started singing, started doing all my little bits, and I had my first show ever was in Colombia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Cali. It was because my friend Steffi was opening a shop.
Right now.
It was mad.
Guy's first show is in Colombia.
I was ready. Well, not so ready. Basically, so yeah, we was going on a holiday. My friend Steffi was opening her new clothing shop in Cali.
Oh,
so she was like, you guys have to perform with my friend Graciela, who I'm also in a group with called Frequency. And we got over there, we got to Colombia, and I was shitting myself. I was so scared.
Wow.
And then
I bet, man.
Yeah, because I was like, I literally.
Did you speak Spanish at all?
No, I didn't speak anything at that
Wow.
point. Barely speak English.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so then I got there, and my friend was like, I was basically saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, I don't know what's going on. You're saying it's her shop. Who's there? What's there? Who's there? I was like, this is Colombia. Like, what is going on? And she just took the pen drive and she was like, shut up. You're doing this. Wow. So then got there, and it was just like loads of people outside. The street was full, but the actual venue, the shop was empty because she thought she could charge people.
Oh.
And they were like, nah, we're just going to chill outside then. Like, you're not charging me to walk through a door of a building.
I get it.
Right, they're just not, they were like, nah, this isn't a club. This is your shop.
Yeah, I guess culturally they're not really like, it's something
outside,
probably
drumming and stuff. And then anyway, she made it free. Everyone came in, and we just it was a bit of a haze. I was just like, what am I singing? I remember this one of the first songs I ever made.
Yeah, so you're a bit you're kind of like on a cloud kind of vibe. So
yeah.
I
don't really remember it minute by minute.
But how was it? How did it?
It was good. Yeah? It was good. They couldn't understand most of it. But the vibe. The vibe, they were good. They kept saying, John Legend, man. John fucking Legend. And I was like, Cool, man. Thanks. Y'all got any weed? Got any good weed? So, but yeah.
And after that, what happened next? What's the progress?
So then after that, all my friends like started to notice, and all the people that I knew
Yeah.
started to notice, and then I think it was my friends Foreign Beggars. They were like doing one of their albums, and they asked me to be on it. And then
How do you spell their name?
Foreign Beggars.
Foreign Beggars. Okay.
Foreign
cool.
Beggars,
Yeah.
like London hip hop
Okay,
institution, and they've asked me. Loads of people asked me to be on things, and so then I was just started.
So you started becoming kind of like a.
Well, just among my friends, if you know what I mean. So it was
Yeah, but
quite-
that's dope, man.
yeah, it was good. It was
Like
good.
your
to-
friends are recognizing you, your talent, and
Yeah.
you want to be
yeah, and
associated to that. That's pretty
Yeah.
good, man. Because usually friends are fucking assholes. They're like, yeah, your
Can
shit
be.
sucks.
yeah. Thanks, man. I'll just go to someone else's party. So then I ended up going on my friend Tasty Lopez. It was her radio show on Soho Radio,
Okay.
and I went with my friend Mirella
Mm-hmm.
because we had a song that was supposed to come out called Get By, and then another one called Ghetto Crazy. So we was there doing those and performing that, and then I also did one other song as well. So did the other song, but as I'm doing that, there is someone at the window, an older English guy, just staring at me like this, and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Damn.
Who is this guy just staring at me? So anyway, do my thing, and opens the door, and he walks in, and he's like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, who the fuck are you? Do you know what I mean? Who are you? And he goes, I'm Eddie Pillar. I think you're brilliant. I would sign you. And I was like, all right. And he was like, do you want a record deal? I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he was like, right, give me a number, write it on this piece of paper. Literally wrote, I don't know why he made me do that. It was not too long ago, but write it on this piece of paper. And it was like, I only came back to get my CDs. I'm going to play at a funeral now, and I need these specific songs. So you're lucky I came back, basically.
Wow.
See, if he didn't forget his CDs, he wouldn't have been in that
Wouldn't have been
situation.
there,
He wouldn't have been there. So anyway, long story short, ended up signing with Acid Jazz, and then putting my first album out with a label that I grew up knowing, you know what I mean? Because I'm a massive Jamiroquai fan.
Yes, sir.
Brand New Heavies is like my favorite band in the world.
Big
So
things.
it was just like, I don't know, I just felt like it had to be that way.
Blessing
you know.
indeed, brother.
It had to be that way, no matter the circumstances. I was kind of like, this is the path that I'm meant to go down, because it actually means something.
And when was that time-wise? Like which year was that?
2018.
2018. Wow. Okay.
2018, yeah. So we started making the album, but I already had some songs that I've been making with Charlie Perry. So we had like a song called Easy, we had Blood and Bones, and Giants as well. So there was three, I think there's another one. And there's multiple of songs that we'd sort of slashed out and just like made very simply. So then took it to one of their producers called Tristan Longworth, who, really, really nice guy. We had maybe one of the funniest experiences recording I've ever had. It was just like going to his house, chilling, him like picking fresh chilies and getting fresh eggs from his garden, and then just making the tunes.
Dope,
Just
man.
making the
That's
tunes.
dope.
That was it. And just very peaceful, you know, like no one in the room unless we needed them. There was no one. It's his house, and he was like, not just gonna let me have. Can I bring 5 of my friends to just come and watch?
No, nonsense.
So it was like a really peaceful experience.
Dope, man.
And yeah, just got my album out of it, which really
So
nice.
the album came out.
Yeah, album came out in 2019.
Alright.
The Wanderer. I think it's exactly how I wanted it to be, because I wanted to first of all come out with something that was just a pure, a pure soul album with not too many tricks, nothing really done on a computer.
Yeah.
All the instruments played live. Like I wanted that. If it's a violin, it's a violin. It's not. It's a violin.
Yeah.
So I wanted that for the first experience, just because I think you're not going to always get that, especially if you don't have a deal.
No.
And I wasn't 100% sold on the fact that I'd be back with Acid Jazz for the second time, because you never know. It's like, it's music, right?
Yeah. It's the industry. Like the name of the game is like, you know, kind of like, okay, we have one opportunity, you take it, and you never know if it's gonna be repeated. But then, from that experience, how good was? I mean, I'm not asking you to say anything about anything, but I mean, you can speak your mind. Like, how was that experience good, and was that experience fruitful for you? Did you learn something that you could carry with you and then start your own label? And have you thought about starting your own label? Do you have your own structure in place, or you just rather delegate that to, a structure that is a label, and you just worry about the music? What kind of artist are you, pretty much?
I think the main thing I learned from it was that you really have to just make your decisions and your voice heard.
Yeah.
I think there's no other way. And if you feel like you're not being heard, then you're probably not in the right place.
Definitely not.
If you're just being like all the time, it's long. And if communication is key as well. If you're not getting good communication, then there's no point. But yeah, the experience itself was good. I think we had to part ways in the end because it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
With where I wanted to go. And, I brought forward the producer who's now producing my second album, Ash Walker, to them. And then they were a bit like, it's not really where we wanted to go. Respectfully, that's fine. But then for the next thing, I needed to really explore that.
My own thing.
To do my own thing. So that ended. But going forward, I'm in two minds, really, because I obviously do music promotions and I've run stages at festivals and I've done lots of things within music itself aside from singing.
Yeah, that's also interesting, right? Because you do have a pretty vast reach into the music. So you're not just a musician, singer, etc. You also have your hands in many different aspects of the music industry business. For example, what are some of the things you're doing and that you actually feel like are a good addition to your craftsmanship as a musician?
I think in general they just add to my life, if you know what I mean. It's like the craft is the craft, but it add to my life. So I think mostly it was getting the opportunity to program a stage at Secret Garden Party for 3 years. I had that stage, No Organica, which was such a blessing because it came through working in a pub as a manager. And then they wanted to do sex positive talks, and the owners wanted to do that at the festival. And they know the owner of the festival, Freddie, and they had no idea how to program a stage because he was like, well, if you're going to do that, you have to do the whole thing. You have to do something else. You can't just do 3 talks. If you want a tent, it has to be with music. So they said to me, do you know, you're a musician. I said, thank you very much. Don't think about it anymore. Let me just, please, what is the budget? Let me just do it. So then once
you have the experience of running a festival?
Of running a stage, yeah.
A stage, okay.
So first of all,
so what does it mean running a stage for people who may not know what it means and what it requires?
It requires a lot of work and a lot of time, but it really and truly what it is programming, making sure you're getting the right acts, making sure the vibe that you're setting is one that is conducive to the festival, the environment and the people that attend the festival, especially because you can get that wrong.
Yeah.
You can get that wrong so easily. Great music, but just wrong crowd.
Absolutely.
But what I wanted to bring to the festival experience was a whole lot of blackness and a whole lot of culture. Because a lot of festivals in the UK are great, brilliant, but the expression of culture isn't so isn't so open, and it's always divided, and it's always spread out. There's never really a base for things. There's always you're going to see this person playing on that stage and that person playing on that stage, but there's never a place where you go and say, you're 100% going to hear hip-hop, jazz, R&B, this, that, and the other, or just music of culture. You kind of can where there's a world music stage, but for me, that doesn't really cut it.
I feel you. Plus also the term world music is a bit problematic for a lot of people because it tends to take away from the uniqueness of the different sounds that the world has to offer.
Yeah.
And so, it's a bit of an unfair thing to actually, great genres of music that exist within their own realm and their own countries. But I guess most people don't. There's one thing that people don't seem to not understand is that you got to put things into a box, otherwise it's not going to be digestible.
Yeah, you have to. There has to be
to a certain extent, right? I'm not saying that it's got to be for everything, but so now, from running a stage, what would you say were some of the challenges that you've encountered? Because you're also programming the artists.
Programming, set design.
So go ahead. Set design, programming.
Set design, staffing.
Yeah.
Making sure that there's. So for me, coming from a Caribbean household, there had to be an offering backstage, and I wanted to create a backstage culture.
Which part of the Caribbean?
Jamaica and Dominica.
Boom.
So I wanted to create like a really sick backstage with like a vibe and make people like the artists want to stay.
Yes,
I didn't want the artists to just leave, unless
100%.
they have something else to do. I wanted
Just
them to
hang
hang
out.
out, man. Meet other artists, meet other people,
Yes,
meet
sir.
sound techs, meet lighting techs, like meet all the people, do your thing. But just most importantly, like build a community. I think that was the most important thing for me to do within that space, man.
And as you've worked with artists, being an artist yourself, but now having to have the hat of, the person who's in charge, who has to, run a budget, make sure you stay within the budget, make sure you actually lead, because you are a leader at this point. What do you think would say is one of the most challenging things that you've encountered with artists in general? That you're just like, fuck it, man. Fucking hate artists. As much as I love them, fucking hate them because of that shit.
It's lastminute.com anything. Lastminute.com anything is
It's fucked up, right?
unless it's last minute, can I have 2 extra bottles of water? That's the only thing that's probably not going to stress me
That's
out.
not going to be stressful, yeah.
It's not. And also, most of the work that I've done that, is big was at the festivals. So some artists will be like, can you get me XYZ? And I'm like, I'm literally trying to run a stage. If you want to find XYZ, there is XYZ in every, just go and ask someone. I think it was all of that stuff. Some demanding bits, but mostly, honestly, everyone was absolutely
good.
fine and blessed. I never had a real bad, we didn't have any artists do anything out of pocket. Everyone acted. And
I guess then that's your energy that commanded it, I guess.
and it's the team as well.
The team?
The team as well, because the team is all like my
So, but you
closest
were the
friends.
leader, right, of the team?
Yeah.
There was a sense of leadership, right?
Yeah, of course. Like everyone knew.
I think every day, that's the whole point, because everybody wants everything to be so like on the same level, but we're all humans, but at a certain point, you have to follow a certain lead and a certain way of a certain conduct and a certain way of making things work. And I think that I see that in you, because we do see each other almost all the time whenever we're here at BB, right? And it's like I see, and you're very smooth with it. You're not imposing. It's very fluid, because it's almost like there's people who have this natural leadership in them. They don't have to say much. You can see that they will take the lead no matter what, and nobody will actually oppose it necessarily, because that's just the natural presence you have about yourself, which is like, you just have that vibe about
Thank you. It's
know?
very
I think that's something that I've noticed about you, and I was like, all right, cool. So when I understood that you were making music, oh shit, that's nice, that's what's up. Truth is, because you carry that energy about you that is multifaceted, then you become almost difficult to grab, because it's almost like the music is just a cog within the whole system that you've built for yourself, right? And it's like, but at the same time, it's almost like it's almost like when I'm seeing you, the way we're talking, etc., and how you're moving with the music, because what I'm trying to say is that you push others more than you push yourself. It appears to me that way,
so.
And maybe it's time for you to do, a little bit more work towards, your own brand and what it is you're pushing.
That's exactly what the next step is now, man.
So what's the next step now? Tell us about it.
Next step now is to get this album out, basically. So I've got.
Is it signed already? Would you have already a label for it, or?
We're in talks. We're in talks with like a really cool thing. I don't want to put myself in the same position as last time.
Yeah.
And I know obviously budget is a massive deal when it comes to trying to release
100%.
an EP or an album or whatever it is, however it starts off.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure it's natural, it feels organic, and everyone's interests are in the same place for the release. So the album is much more complex than the first one, in the way that it's with a lot of my friends playing on it, singing on it, doing backing vocals. Ash is like one of the greatest people I know, and he's produced all of it pretty much. So with other people, some other tracks have been produced with other producers, co-productions, and some of the beats like showed me maybe 5 years ago, and was like, what do you think of this? And I was like, sick. And then it develops into something else. And then 3 years ago, I'm like, what? Yeah, this is it. So I'm excited because it's all new. It's new. Like I've got more kind of poetry on it, more rappy bits, more singing. more like
Introspective, you might say.
yeah, more like more complex in the issues that I guess it
You touch on. How many songs?
we've made like 14.
Oh, that's cool.
We've made
That's
like
nice.
14.
Nowadays, that's about
Yeah.
right for an album.
And I think we'll do an EP first with a tune called Flounce. Fire. Fire is my favorite, maybe one of my favorites, just because it's about hot sauce. And I sat down and I was like, what is really important to me in this world? Hot sauce. Hot sauce.
Hot sauce, indeed. It's necessary for a good plate.
It's necessary for a good play, for a good time.
Yes, sir.
It's just a little bit of hot sauce. So yeah, made that, and then yeah, it's got like some house on it, soulful house. Obviously, I love soulful house. I'm working here.
Yes,
It's
sir.
just obviously just reinforced that, but it's growing up with it as well.
Yeah.
So just being able to actually, because I think the first time round, Acid Jazz had an idea of what they wanted out of it. So I did stay kind of within that. There was points where they were like, this isn't the fucking album we asked for. And I was like, yes, it is, guys. You're going to get it. And then in the end, they were like, this is brilliant.
Beautiful.
But,
Isn't it complicated? To be honest with you, like I think as a label owner myself and working with artists, I think when you sign an artist, besides I think just maybe giving some guidance here and there, more maybe related to technicality, anything related to legal aspects, etc., and making sure that things are just handled properly on the business side of things. You just gotta let the artists be who they want to be. Of course, if you've paid a serious amount of money and they come and the artist does hip hop, and then next thing you know, they come and bring you a salsa album. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, in that case,
That's not what I paid for.
Yeah. But creatively, let me cook.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think,
Exactly. Whether you can drop a salsa song in the album, no problem. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But don't make it a full salsa album. That's not what
Correct.
I paid for, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, even advances are even more difficult to get and be received, anyways, because it's harder to recoup. So, I think that's one of the main issues a lot of people bump into, because the business model is changing, and also because nowadays, thanks to the internet, you can experiment with your own way of doing things.
Correct.
And if I may say, we haven't. I mean, my 2 cents to your next project would be to retain 50% of the ownership of the album, so that at least you can control how things are being done. Because in the end, you own 50% of the project. You've invested time and energy and effort in it, and I think it's only but fair for you to be able to have a say as to how things are being done.
Yeah. Which is exactly what I think the next step is going to be. Like, it has to be, essentially. But
Yes, sir.
the people that we're speaking to, I think it would be brilliant in the way that it would be grassroots in a way, and we would all be learning and like really pushing each other. And I think that's what I want. I don't want a situation where some people feel like they are hierarchically above you in that sense, so therefore their opinion matters more than yours. I feel like it has to be collaboration. Has to be collaboration, otherwise there's no point.
So you're more like a pops and moms kind of shop, where you're like, let's just keep it grassroots and easy and not complicated, and let's figure it out together.
Let's figure it out together, and also let's explore all the stuff.
But
that
that's
we can
dangerous too, though.
do. Yeah, of course, there's dangers in everything. But
I'll tell you why I'm saying
paperwork tight, obviously.
Good, thank you.
There's
I was gonna say.
there's no way around that. I'm not talking about just a handshake.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything on a handshake.
Hey, so now, baby.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's like, hey,
Just put it on Spotify. We'll see next week what happens. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, just chuck it on. Don't bother trying to get a playlist. What's the point? We're grassroots.
So okay, cool.
Not
So
that,
you got your, as far as the business side of things, tight square.
Yeah, I've got a manager and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've got a manager who will look after me. You know what I mean?
Cool.
In that sense. So there's no.
But do you know, the thing is, the manager is one thing, but you know what? Because that's another thing, right? My own experience, and I think conversation. What's interesting about this conversation, and a lot of people watching and listening, up and coming artists, etc., especially, the importance of delegating is good. You can delegate, but I've learned the hard way that you cannot delegate until you've learned for yourself. And it seems like you have.
Yeah, that's.
But,
I had a manager before, and I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it was a bad manager. Do you know what I mean? I just think
No.
there was
But it's
conflict
experiences.
between, the way the communication. I think was a breakdown
It usually
between
can be
the
like
label and the manager, and I think whoever it came from most, it doesn't matter at that point because they were both like pushing and pulling on each other. Do you know what I mean? In some emotional way, you know, it's like pulling strings. So this time it will be very different, and I'm super grateful actually that I've got the quality of music that I've got, the direction, the people around me, the ideas that are coming out, and the people that want to help as well within my circle that want to help and just be like part of it.
Yeah, man. Again, you know, you have your community, man. Again, for seeing you for now, couple of months now. Pretty much I've been here for a little while now. You have your community, man. It's very interesting. You know, they come through, and even though, like, you're not pushing yourself, you're pushing others, but they're following. You know, and I think this altruism and this capacity of giving will be returned to you back when you're ready to drop this project, man.
That's what I hope.
You already know. If we can do a remix, you can talk to Boddhi Satva. We can do one.
This is on camera. Yeah?
It's on camera.
It's on camera.
I'm a man of my word.
Look, the remix package is going to be so disgusting. I don't think you realize.
Oh
how
my God.
Disgusting.
Exciting.
Wait till you get your hands on fire and flounce. Oh my God. I don't know if you're ready.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well, brother, it was a pleasure having you on the show. This was Monday Quality Talks. Where can people find you?
You can find me on the Grapevine. And you can find me on Instagram at Laville_music. That's LAVILLE_music. You can find my event page at Noirganica. So that's NOIRGANICA. And that's it, really. Watch out. We're going to do some really cool things this year. I'm doing South by Southwest.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've just been confirmed for that as well, which is quite nice.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Big things at one.
And then I'm doing this like mad show with Omar as well, which Daryl's setting up. And we're sharing a verse in There's Nothing Like This. I don't know what's going on. That's just like mad stuff.
You see, it's just called positive energy and being a good person. You attract good shit, brother. And being, again, when you give, you receive. Being of service to other is important, man. You're doing that, man. You're doing that. You know?
That's the night that I do on the Mondays as well. So I do a night sometimes, like every now and then, at the BB store called Service, because like I want to just give to like different people. So I've like had the people that I used to work at a Village Underground, who I still work at. They've had them come and DJ. Friends of mine, do PAs. I've had Mickey Blanco come down. You know, I've just like tried to keep it moving and diverse. Anyway, that's Noah Gallagher. Check us out.
No, man. Big shout out to the BB family as always for making space for that as well to happen. You know, that's super important. So once again, check him out. A lot of things going on, hot things going on. I'm excited about it, and you'll see a remix from Boddhi Satva soon as well. So, anyways, we're keeping you posted. Yeah, we'll probably do another show when this thing comes out, so we can actually have the post experience.
Yeah, and you can be like, you know? That remix that Boddhi Satva done is kind of
shit, man.
It's kind of sick, innit?
Peace, family.
All right, big up.